I'm comedian Jerry Rocha, and today I'd like to talk about my biggest regret in video gaming. And no, it's not going to be something stupid like, shucks, I really wish I would have fucked Jack in the Mass Effect games. No, I'm a Tolly guy. Actually, I don't have a crush on a video game character, although sadly, I'm sure there are people who do. Like, I really hope there's not some dude just hanging outside of Nintendo's headquarters, going up to each employee as they go in for their workday and, like, asking him to take up erotic poetry he's written to Princess Peach. Can you at least let me see you read one? But let's be honest, there's like a 60% chance that's actually happened, or could be happening right now. No, my regret isn't some stupid polygonal what-if hookup. No, my regret is all about money. I regret not taking care of my old games, specifically the Nintendo and Super Nintendo era, because I don't know what the fuck happened, but these things got valuable. And it's only been like during the past 10 or 15 years, too. And how did this happen? How did this start? What asshole was like, you want Flintstones Surprise at Dinosaur Peak? All right. You know, last week it would have been $3. Today, $1,600. And then what complete dumbass was like, wow. Okay, yeah, mister. You drive a hard bargain, but you got yourself a deal. What if I throw in an extra $3,000? Can I have that George Foreman grill that doesn't work anymore? And how about for $12,000, you toss in that iPad Nano? I was recently at a retro gaming store that actually had a copy of the Flintstones Surprise at Dinosaur Peak, and I never gave a fuck about this game. I didn't even know it existed until like 3 months ago, but because of its value, I just stared at it like it was a Super Bowl ring. I even started thinking to myself, okay, $1,600, how do we make this happen? How did shit like this get to be worth so much? Is it that great of a game? It's not like if you beat it in under an hour, you get to see Wilma's bush. In that case, don't mind if I but do. The ball's on anyone who asks more than $5 for this fucking thing. Yeah, but you know, it's really, really rare. Okay, so is an original can of Crystal Pepsi soda. You gonna give somebody $1,700 for it? As much as I love gaming, and as much as I have so many wonderful memories of playing video games with friends and families over the years, the biggest thrill of my adult life was when my cousin let me borrow a couple of sheets of a porno magazine he had. And I wouldn't pay more than $0.25 for those exact pages today. Especially not the ones that I actually... Anyway, but for whatever reason, there was a meeting somewhere when someone decided, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fuck vinyl collectors and retro video game collectors. Not long ago, you could have gotten one of these hard-to-find games for well under $50. God, back then, like early 2000s, most were under $10. If there was a Nintendo game somebody was asking $30 for back then, it was one of the rarest of the rares. I'm sorry, I gotta stick to the $20 price tag. It's a sealed copy of Super Mario Bros. 2 that has one of Miyamoto's pubes in the booklet. Yeah, it's part of the failed promotion. There's only like 20 of them. Now, if you offer up $30 for a rare old game, the owner of whatever store you're in is gonna take you outside and beat you in the streets, Unforgiven Gene Hackman style. What happened to Curtis, Pa? He got himself killed outside the retro video game flea market. Hey, we gonna do something? He offered a feller $30 for a sealed copy of Chrono Trigger in mint condition. He had it coming. Why didn't I take care of my old games? God, that'd be like $400 worth of games I would have. Okay, not exactly worth trying to discover time travel to go back and get them, but I mean, it would have been nice. You know, back when they weren't worth anything, I had no problem trading in a pile of retro games just to help me pay for one modern one. All right, I've given you $45 cash so far, right? What if I throw in Gun Knack, all three Castlevanias, and Zombie Nation and Swamp Thing? What am I at now? Okay, that's $2, so now I'm at 47. Okay, I'll throw in 2 Family Fun Stadium events. What am I at now? $48.50. Okay, I'll pay the rest cash. It'll be worth it. Dude, I'm getting Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero for the Nintendo 64. Hello? Look, I can't be blamed for not knowing what all these games were going to be worth. None of us can. Could you imagine the ass kicking a kid would have gotten the playground if he was like, oh, no, you can't open those Thundercats figures. One day when I'm like in my 40s, they're going to be worth like, I don't know, like $100 each. And And at least I never had one of those Holy Grail games back when I was a kid. I do remember seeing Earthbound behind the counter of the KB Toys I worked at in high school, thinking, man, I've heard a lot of good things about this game. One day I'm going to buy it, but I never did. Instead, I ended up buying one of the 750,000 versions of NBA Jam that had come out. Fuck, I didn't play Earthbound till like 5 years ago. I shudder to think of the gold mine of games that were behind that counter at KB Toys. And I had the fucking employee discount too. I'm sure Hagane and Little Samson, big money games now. We're sitting there just waiting to be bought, but we're eternally ignored, quickly ignored, like that weird dude hanging out by the women's bathroom at a nightclub thinking that's gonna get him laid. I actually found some of my old games a few years ago, and oddly enough, the only ones that survived in perfect shape where the boxes weren't all fucked up were Shadows of the Empire for Nintendo 64 and Star Fox 64. I have no idea how that happened. Compared to my other games, they look like those two houses that a tornado just missed. Yeah, I didn't exactly do the most delicate job of opening video games back when I got them. When I got a new game back then, I would open it up like I was ripping its fucking soul out of its body. Aw, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Mom, you shouldn't have. I'm gonna open it up by chewing my way through it. No way, Super Mario Brothers 3! Okay, I'm gonna pop it open by dunking it a few times on my Nerf basketball hoop and then elbow dropping it from the top of the sofa, Macho Man Randy Savage style. It also looks like I may have used my teeth to try and transform my Bumblebee figure several times. I don't know if they were successful or not, but the scars are still there. My poor game boxes look like Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th after Voorhees got done with him. And I loved those games. I can only imagine the shit I would do to the games I didn't like. For the most part, I did baby the actual cartridges, though. That started after I'd rent a game from Blockbuster, pop open the box, and then wonder what on earth did the person who rented this before me do to this game. Like half the games I rented from Blockbuster look like they got pulled out of that tub in Buffalo Bill's house from Silence of the Lambs. And I guess I get it, maybe? I mean, Blockbuster had a very strict rewind your movie policy, but they didn't really have a don't jizz on the video games rule. Of course, back then, had I known what I know now, I would have babied the shit out of them when I was opening it. I would have put on gloves. I would have had like little fucking surgical tongs, whatever. But again, none of us knew what they would end up being worth one day. And I'm telling you something, if you happen to see a mega rare game at like a garage sale and the person doesn't know what they have and they're only asking like $15 for it and it's in pristine condition, there is a horrifically tragic story to that game. That was a birthday present for some kid in the 80s who never got to open it. So with that knowledge in mind, if you ever happen to see one of those Holy Grail games at a garage sale, perfectly sealed for $10, do the right thing, okay? And try to play hardball with the person selling it. $10? I don't want some fucking ghost come and follow me with this game. Come on, I'll give you 50 cents. So there it is. My biggest video gaming regret of all time. I think I'll be okay. Yeah, it would have been nice to have held on to him, but I think it would have been more tragic if today I really needed to pawn DuckTales 2 so I could get my hands on $200. And if I had access to a time machine, I think there's a lot more important shit I would do than go back and preserve vintage games. Come on, I would have probably bought 2 copies of Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. Thank you for tuning in. Please, if you enjoyed this video, if you chortled or even guffawed, like it, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so every time I put out a new video, you're notified, see? And the more you do that, the less I have to break your balls about it. I love you all. Stay safe and healthy out there, and we'll see you next time.